Mercy is the great interrupter. It invades our preconceptions. It barges in as if it knows better than we do what we need and what the situation calls for. It shouts with Voltaire, it's better to risk saving a guilty person than to condemn an innocent one. It goes even further. Sometimes it takes the form that Rudy Francisco, in his poem, accentuated. She asks me to kill the spider. Instead, I get the most peaceful weapons I can find. I take a cup and a napkin, I catch the spider, put it outside, and allow it to walk away. If I'm ever caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, just being alive and not bothering anyone, I hope I'm greeted with the same kind of mercy. We want mercy, but sometimes we find it difficult to give. I want to address this outside of my usual context. I preached a sermon on it this morning, but I'm not going to come at it from that. We are mandated in my faith to show mercy, but you may not necessarily have that mandate from your philosophical point of view. And yet I'm mandated to market mercy, to promote it. Dictionary says it's compassionate treatment, forgiveness, or leniency towards someone with whom we have the power to punish, or whom we have the power to punish. It involves choosing kindness, pity, or benevolence over vengeance or strict justice. In that case, it's a great interrupter. It interrupts some things that we're inclined to do and we're moving toward doing. And I'd like to make the case for mercy as a legitimate choice in your life and in your community. The first thing it interrupts is malice. I'm going to give you an acronym, malice. The M is for malice. It's the common term for harboring something like a desire to hurt someone or to see someone hurt. We could call it renting space in your head or letting someone live in your head rent free. But it is holding on to anger and believing somehow or another that if we could release that anger and that desire for punishment upon another person, we would feel better. Oscar Wilde identified that kind of emotion by saying, I don't want to be at the mercy of my emotions. I want to use them, to enjoy them, to dominate them. And Wendell Berry said, rats and roaches live by competition under the law of supply and demand. It's the privilege of human beings to live under the laws of justice and mercy. And Berry got it right. Malice is interrupted by mercy, and in a way that is healthy for us, in a way that gives us better control of our emotions and uh, allows us to live with them in peace. The E is for excommunication. Mercy interrupts excommunication. Now, I know that's a term that is often used in a very technical sense in religion for disfellowshipping a person from a particular communion. But look at the word ex and communication. And it means to cut off communication. Very simply, but communication tops excommunication. You can communicate with someone who has, at least in your mind, done you wrong, or with whom you have done injustice and to whom you've done injustice. But when mercy steps in, it brings people eyeball to eyeball, face to face. It restores relationships and communities and peace in a way that doesn't just benefit the perpetrator of an injustice, it benefits the person who has been victimized by injustice, and it benefits everyone in their community and the larger community. It benefits your family because when there's something rotting in the hall, everybody smells it. And when there's an acid burning through the floor, the whole foundation is in jeopardy. So your malice, your desire to cut people off, your anger, your need for vengeance is not just affecting your life, it's affecting your life for sure, maybe more than the person that you're angry with, but it's also affecting the people around you. Your bitterness is poisoning the well. Now, it also interrupts rational retribution. Sometimes retribution is a rational response, the desire for retribution, to have things made right. And mercy steps in and kind of interrupts it. But how? How does it do that? Well, um, Adam Smith called it mercy to the guilty and cruelty to the innocent, or is cruelty to the innocent? Yes, sometimes if you don't address the harm that has been done to innocents, that can be cruel. But retribution, what is the alternative to rational retribution? It is restorative justice. Restorative justice is both just and merciful. It is redemptive. It's good for all. Retributive justice will have a very limited shelf life in terms of its capacity to affect anything positive in the world or in your small world around you in the long haul. But restorative justice restores everything. Retribution may be rooted in a form of rationality, but mercy is far more rational over the long term. Abraham Lincoln said, I've always found that mercy bears richer fruits than strict justice. And Pope Francis said, a little bit of mercy makes the world less cold and more just. There's something else that mercy interrupts. Mercy interrupts categorization. That is, putting people in boxes, saying, okay, I was victimized by this person, and this person is a member of this tribe or that tribe, and therefore this tribe and that tribe, I don't trust, I don't want to have anything to do with it. It's easy to put people into boxes when we're offended and then blame a whole class or category of people. Every one of us, Carl Sagan said, in the cosmic perspective is precious. If a human disagrees with you, let him live. In 100 billion galaxies, you will not find another. Please remember that the person with whom you're angry, the person who's done you wrong, is precious to someone and is precious not only to someone, but is precious to the entire cosmos, as Sagan pointed out in his book, Cosmos. And it also is something that calls for a perspective that G.K. Chesterton addressed when he said, for children are innocent, they love justice, while most of us are wicked. And naturally, we prefer mercy. Now, the last thing that I want to mention that mercy interrupts is a word I just invented this morning, yard sticking. Well, I didn't invent the word yardstick, but I invented the gerund. And yard sticking is where we're measuring ourselves against other people. And unfortunately, we cannot adequately measure our own rightness or anyone else's wrongness adequately. Keeping score dooms us to potential loss. Shakespeare spoke of sweet mercy is the true nobility, and here's the direct quote: "Sweet mercy is nobility's true badge." And I like this quote from Bryan Stevenson in Just Mercy. Listen to it slowly. The power of just mercy is that it belongs to the undeserving. It's when mercy is least expected that it's most potent, strong enough to break the cycle of victimization and victimhood, retribution and suffering. It has the power to heal the psychic harm and injuries that lead to aggression and violence, abuse of power, mass incarceration. So, mercy is a great interrupter, but it doesn't interrupt anything we need. It interjects in the interruption, things we definitely need. Listen again to Merriam-Webster's definition. Mercy is often described as compassionate, noble acts that outweigh strict justice, bringing healing, hope, and humanity to the world. And then I will return to my faith. Jesus said, Blessed are the merciful, for they will and shall be shown mercy. Well, what do we do? What do we do in an unmerciful world? Susan Sontag said 10% of any population is cruel no matter what, and 10% is merciful no matter what, and the remaining 80% can be moved in any direction. Well, presumably we live among the 80%. Let's determine how we're going to move, and let's use our influence to move our population toward mercy for the benefit of all.